New this morning, we begin our week-long series, The Big Picture. 2 weeks ago, I set out with 3 other women to hike the entire stretch of the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. I wanted to tell the story of an area that has grown in popularity so quickly that the resources, the staff, the funding, it all simply can't keep up. In 2014, between 400 and 500,000 people visited Pictured Rocks. In 2021, visitor numbers hit 1.3 million. I wanted to see firsthand what was happening, what the impacts to the area are, and I wanted to share all of that with you. I'll do that in this series, but these stories, they took on a life of their own. The story of 4 women hiking the lakeshore turned into more than I imagined. And so that's where we begin. In part 1 of The Big Picture, our plan and how it quickly became more than we had anticipated. It's a moment frozen in time. The before picture. Look at our faces. Look at the excitement. Myself, along with Kristen Ojanimi, Cindy Baker, and Teal Rintala, had been planning a trip to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore for the past few months, and it was here.
I decided to take this hike because I'd actually never seen a Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore area.
It actually covers your entire vehicle.
Before we left, the National Park Service reminded us a trip like this takes planning and thought.
You're backpacking. What happens if something happens out here? Can I take care of myself? Can my group take care of me? And that's with any backpacking trip, but we do get a lot of beginners coming out here and really not thinking those things through.
We felt Susan's words, and we were confident that wouldn't be us. Looking back now, sure, we had our gear, but I think we were a little cocky. I mean, after all, we did Isle Royale last year. Certainly this would be similar, if not easier, right? We were about to find out. Here was our plan. Backpack 42.4 miles from the Grand Sable Visitor Center to Munising Falls. 5 days, 4 nights. The forecast looked good. Just the first day was forecasted to be cool and wet. And so we took off. We had an 8.7-mile hike ahead of us to Hurricane River. 50 to 60-pound packs on our backs. We had each other and the expectation of another epic adventure.
Pictured Rocks was the first backpacking experience that I ever had so many years ago. It was the first trip that you and I had ever taken together, and it was really hard. And I wanted to come back and do it again because I felt like I was so much more ready for it this time around.
Fast forward just 2 hours, and reality set in. We were cold, wet, and our bodies were already feeling the weight of our gear and the unforgiving ups and downs of a new trail.
It was a lot tougher hike than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know why I thought it would just be easy breezy. I think of beautiful, like Pictured Rocks. And I've done little short day hikes that weren't too challenging. But yeah, it was a challenge.
Now there were moments of enjoyment. The ferns, the flowers, the foggy view of where we'd started, the Asabo Light Station. But I want to be really honest. I was really questioning at this point my ability to complete this hike. My thoughts were full of, I can't. I just didn't feel like I could make it. After about 6 hours of hiking, we reached our first campsite and we were all feeling a bit deflated. The idea of going home, as embarrassing as it would be, was not far from our minds.
I was super, super sore like the first day or 2 after the hike. Like I just had to throw my pack down and just take a big sigh and just lay there and collect my thoughts for a few minutes.
And that's exactly what we all did. We looked at the map. We ate our dinner. We laughed about never even considering we might feel like this. We all admitted we should have trained first.
It's a really tough hike. It's just a really tough hike.
And that's kind of how we left it that first day, hoping we'd wake up to sun and warmth and that we'd all feel rested and ready. Now, I don't want to give it all away, but I'll tell you that didn't happen. Tomorrow in part 2, waking up and pushing through, and an unexpected hiccup we never could have planned for.